There is one problem with Skyblock right now. The balancing system in this game is completely terrible. Now let me explain. Now the way that Skyblock works is with progression. And let's say, for example, in dungeons, this is the main reason why I'm making this video. In dungeons, there's many weapons to choose from. However, from each class, besides healer and tank, there is so much in between the different weapons that you can use. For example, let's just start with Berserk, or Berserker, or Burs, or whatever you call it. Now if we quickly just go to the auction house real quickly, this is completely unbalanced. The weapon you would go for is a livid dagger. This is your first main Burs weapon that you would go for. You'd go for a cheap 5-starred one, probably mythic, probably combo 5. This one looks like a pretty good one. So we'll just round up, we'll go 15 million coins. But then from this, there's nothing in between from this to a giant sword. And believe it or not, a giant sword is the same. It's 150 million coins. You would have to grind for 15 livid daggers if you want a good giant sword. Now this doesn't seem right. There should be weapons in between. One at 15 million, one at 25 million, one at 50 million, maybe one at 90 million, but one at 150 million? Just after one at 15 mil? That's so much money that you would have to grind. And for a mid-game player, dungeons is hard to do for floor 7 if you don't have good weapons. For me, I can't join floor 7 parties even though that I'm Berserk level 27 and Kata 33. Because I don't have a Hyperion or a giant sword or an axe of the shredded or things like that. Now let's move on to Mage. This is the biggest one that I really don't like. And it's the thing that I'm trying to get better at, but I need to save up so many coins. So if we now go to the auction house again, and we search up a Spirit Scepter. Now this is probably going to be your main weapon as a mage. This, 21 million coins. But then after this, there's literally nothing. There's only a Yeti sword, which is 60 mil. But then after the Yeti sword, there's nothing but a Hyperion. And that's 820 million coins. Now this just seems absurd to me that you would have to pay so many of them. You would have to get 800 mil for a weapon. And there's no progression in between. There's only the Yeti sword. That's literally it. I don't get this progression system that they have with this game. And for Archer, it's very similar. However, there's nothing like the Yeti sword. It's literally just, there's only the Juju bow. That's not a good representation, but there's only a Juju bow, which is a good one. Soul Eater 5 is like 60, something like over here. Let's say for a good one that you would probably buy, it is around here, 52 million coins. Now that seems like a lot, but to get from this to the next Archer setup, you need to get a Terminator, which is one, difficult to get because there's none on the auction house anymore. It starts off at, there you go, which is now 730 million coins. Now this is another problem because you have to get Enderman Slayer 7 to even use this weapon. Now for a player that doesn't do a lot of slayers because they literally can't do enderman slayer besides tier 2s and 3s. That's so difficult to acquire. And I just feel like there needs to be more in between. Like, the bone meringues were perfect. They were in between. Like, if we just search up bone meringue now, these were just before. You would get 4 of these, which is like 20 mil. That would be just before so the progression is bone meringue, juju, and then a terminator. Like, that's so much skipped progression and chances for this game to grasp new players. Because if you want to acquire the best weapons in the game, you have to grind so many coins. Man, I know I'm exaggerating this so much, but for me personally, I'm trying to get a Hyperion, right? That's my next thing on the shopping list. And I need to grind 800 million coins. Well, now it's like 650, but like, bruh. I've got 160 mil in, what, a week and a half. Because if I'm grinding something that's 6 million coins an hour, a billion, which is what I'm aiming for, divided by 6, that's literally over 200 hours of straight up grinding with a 6 mil an hour money making method. From something that costs 20 mil, which is like 3 hours, 3 hours to 200? That seems so absurd to me. Let's say you didn't have the storm gear either. That would cost even more. And that is so... Yeah, I'm not gonna baffle on too much longer with this, but... The developers of this game really need to pick up their pace. And maybe even hiring some new developers that can help, because without them, without more people that can help this game get revived, it's going just downhill. The game's gonna die, no one's gonna play it, because there's so much grinding in between. You need to make a game that has more of a way that players can grind, but still accomplish something at least every 20 hours of playtime. Now, me personally, I have 1,280. Now, this is pretty good, but it doesn't mean that I'm good at this game. To get good at this game right now, I need to play more than double what I have. By the time I get a Hyperion, I'll be at least 1,350, which is it's just dumb. I'm not gonna baffle, but please sort out this game. It needs like a rework madly. I guess it's what 1.0 is for, but that's not big enough. You should be able to join dungeon parties if you don't have the good gear. You should be able to do whatever. But you need more money making methods, or things that can be fun while making money. Yeah, that's pretty much everything that I have to say. I've gone through all my notes. But yeah, this game, it needs to be fixed. But if you agree with what I'm saying, then like and subscribe, because we need to get this video to the admins so that they can fix this. Because it's not from a game designer point of view, but from a player who doesn't get contraband. Every player has to go through these stages, besides all of the big YouTubers and things. It just doesn't make any sense to do what they're doing. But yeah, if you did like this video, and you do agree with me, make sure to like and subscribe. Maybe leave a comment with other suggestions, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.